One of the things I really love about woodworking, wood turning, is taking a piece like this and really not having any idea what's inside. As you can see on this flat side, there's a lot of cracks, there's a lot of inclusions and voids, things to discover as I go into it. This is from a birch tree. There's evidence of a couple of branches that came off here, so that can lend itself to some very interesting grain. It's 11 inches across, and I've got a 10-inch disc here. I'm going to screw this down so I have a template to follow with my bandsaw to cut this into a circle, make it a little easier to turn than having to turn these corners off. Then I'll take this off, turn it over, and drill a hole in the center for my woodworm screw to mount it to the lathe. So now that that's all taken care of, let's go over to the lathe, see what we can come up with. As I'm sure you could guess, this piece is extremely out of balance. So I'm going to have to turn this very slow. In fact, I have to cut it down to 250 RPM. It's going to take a while. I guess I might as well get at it. I'm up to 310 RPM right now. Boy, what an improvement. Up to 400 RPM now. $650 RPM. Up to 1000 RPM now. Should get a little smoother, although these are some big gaps in here. And that should work just fine. Now to flatten this off, I'm just going to use a sanding board, which is a 3-inch wide piece of 2x4 that's been jointed to be sure that it's straight and flat. 80 grit sandpaper on one side, 100 on the other. I'll just run this in reverse to take the dust away from me. And I'm doing this at 500 RPM. All right, that's much better. I'm going to be sanding the outside because there are so many large gaps using my random orbit sander. It's a 5-inch disc, 8 holes, and I've got the dust collector ready to go. The trick here is to not stop the sander and pause in any spots or you will create flats. I've got the spindle locked, so I'll do the area that I can reach, then I'll turn it, do the rest of it all the way around, and go up to 400 grit, starting with 150. Pardon me, 120, starting with 120. I'll just fit this on here, reverse chuck it. Try not to have this one fly off like I did one before. Alright, I'm going to bring the tailstock up, put the live center in here just to support it a little bit while I start to flatten this top out. I try to always keep my turning tools sharp. In instances like this, where I'm going to come across an open area, I want to make sure they're especially sharp because I don't want to cause this to tear out. So now I've got this at 1000 RPM using my 3/8 bowl gouge, and let's see what happens here. You'll probably notice the live center is not even turning. It's just in there in case this comes loose to keep it from flying across the shop. Alright, a ways to go yet. I want to true it up to this point. This is not going to be a very deep bowl. I want to avoid all these pieces that are open around the outside. Also, I want to leave this unfilled. I kind of like the character that it's adding there. So unless it looks like these pieces are going to fly out of there, I'm going to leave that. Otherwise I'll have to fill it with perhaps some walnut sawdust to match that color and CA glue. But I'm going to start taking out the center now. Let's just see what I've got to work with down there. I have retightened the chuck, moved the tailstock out of the way. Now I want to see if I can take this off without having the whole thing come apart. Wasn't cutting that well, so I put a fresh new edge on there. I'll see if this does a better job. Alright, the whole thing is sanded now to 400 grit, and I am just entranced by all of the different directions the figure is going, because of some of the branches, of course, that were coming in from different directions. Outside is beautiful, inside is beautiful. I've been debating, do I fill this or I leave it natural? And I know some people are going to say, well, it's no good as a bowl if it doesn't hold soup, but you know, I like it, and I'm just going to leave it natural like that. I'm going to take this and give it a bath in some mineral oil, then I'll be back to show you the final results. And there it is. The mineral oil has made the figure in here pop nicely. I'm quite pleased with this. Now I know that a lot of people would have been filling all these voids with resin or something else, but I don't have any resin. I haven't got to that part of my list yet where I want to try it out. It's a big list. But I'm pleased with it the way it is, and my wife likes it. Ha! Gotta like that. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll come back next time. In the meantime, have a great day in your shop and be safe. Thanks for stopping in. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that. Share this with others if you like. Take care now.